My wife told me I wasn't romantic anymore, so I planned the biggest surprise of our relationship to prove her wrong. She cried the moment she saw it, but not for the reason I expected. It took me months to understand that I had spent 6 years solving the wrong problem entirely. By the time I finally understood what she actually needed from me, she had already stopped waiting for me to figure it out. If you had asked me a year ago whether my girlfriend and I were happy, I would have laughed at the question. Of course we were happy. We'd been together for 6 years at that point, since we were 22 and 23 years old, both of us fresh out of university and convinced we already knew everything about how adult life was supposed to work. We had an apartment we'd picked out together. We had 2 cars, both paid off. We had a dog, a scrappy little rescue mutt named Biscuit that we'd adopted together in our second year of living together. We had a shared savings account that we both contributed to religiously. We had already more than once had the kind of half-serious, half-joking conversation about marriage that couples have when they both already know the answer but haven't gotten around to making it official. Our friends used to call us the old married couple of the group, the ones who'd clearly figured it out while everyone else was still cycling through situationships and bad Tinder dates. I loved her. I want to say that clearly right at the start of this, because I think it matters for understanding how confusing everything that happened afterward was for me. This wasn't a story about someone who fell out of love and slowly checked out. I loved her the entire time, right up until the day she left, and honestly I still do, in whatever complicated way you love someone who used to be the center of your whole life. That's exactly what makes this so hard to explain to people. When she eventually left, there was no cheating involved, not on either side. There was no secret boyfriend waiting in the wings. There was no single explosive fight that either of us could point to and say, that's the night it ended. There wasn't a betrayal in any of the ways I'd always understood betrayal to work. She simply sat me down one evening, calm in a way that somehow felt worse than yelling would have, and told me, I'm tired of being your girlfriend and your mother at the same time. I laughed. I actually laughed, a short, surprised bark of a laugh, because it sounded like the setup to a joke, not the opening line of the end of a 6-year relationship. I thought she was exaggerating, venting after a hard day, the kind of thing you say and then walk back an hour later once you've cooled off. She wasn't exaggerating, and she never walked it back. I think to understand how we got there, I need to actually walk you through what our day-to-day life looked like, because none of it seemed dramatic at the time. It seemed to me at least completely normal, unremarkable, the ordinary texture of a long relationship between 2 working adults. My name in this story is Ethan. I'm a software engineer, 29 years old now. My schedule was predictable in a way I actually liked. I worked from 9 to 5, sometimes a little later depending on what sprint we were in, came home around 6 most nights, had dinner with my girlfriend, whom I'll call Mia, and then most evenings, somewhere around 8 o'clock, I'd sit down and turn on my PlayStation for a couple of hours before bed. I want to be specific about the gaming part of this story, because I think it's easy to read a headline like the one on this post and assume this is just another lazy gamer boyfriend story, and I don't think that's actually accurate, or at least it's not the full